morning, everyone, and thank you for coming today. I'd like to start off with an illustration about technology. Let's say this snail here represents technology, and my arm represents time. Now, I would say the technology seems like it's kind of creeping along pretty slowly. We have to wait a whole year for new iPhones to come out. I mean, what's the deal with that? Now, let's say we take technology over the past 50 years. What would that look like? Probably something like this. Now, for those who grew up in the 50s, such as my grandmother, and those who grew up in the 80s, like my mom, they've had to adapt to the rapid technological advances that have been happening. Which begs the question, has technology improved or impaired our lives? Personally, I think the technology has vastly improved my life. I can't go like 10 minutes without using my phone. In fact, yeah, I have like 3 text messages I need to look at. Anybody else can identify with that? Holla. In preparation for this speech, I interviewed my grandmother and my mother to kind of get a feel for their points of views on how technology has impacted their lives, and I included my own points of views. Now, I will tell you a little bit about my grandmother. Her name's Marilyn, and my grandpa endearingly calls her Myrnie. I don't know where that nickname came from, but it just is. One of the stories that my grandmother shared with me was about the first time when she used a computer, which was back when she was a nurse. And when she was a nurse, she had to keep all the records and everything by hand, which was a tough thing to do, and you can't always read doctors' handwriting, so, I mean, that's pretty bad. So when they got computers at the hospital, it made her life a whole lot easier. I would say that my grandmother has a pretty good ability to adapt to all the technological changes that have been happening. The only stumbling blocks that she told me she has are remembering her different passwords, which, I mean, a lot of old people have problems remembering, so that's pretty normal, and remembering how to use different websites and applications. So overall, she would say that she loves technology. She's pretty psyched. She got her first cell phone last year, and she's already wanting a smartphone, so maybe that'll be on the horizon for her. Now I will share with you a couple stories about my mother and how technology has impacted her life. In 1981, my mother had her first experience with a computer. They brought it into the classroom, and everybody had to take like a small programming course in the class so that they could know how to go around and use computers. And my mom at the time was kind of a free thinker. She didn't like to be told to sit down and have to do tedious little typing things all day. So she didn't really like this programming class, and from early on this kind of soured her perception of technology and computers and things. And over time, she's grown a lot, and she loves technology now, but there was always that little stumbling block. Something that makes my mom's relationship with technology unique is that she relies on it for medical reasons. She was diagnosed with diabetes, juvenile diabetes, when she was in high school. So she relies on a little pump, it's a blood glucose monitor, to keep her alive pretty much, to check the blood sugars in her body and keep everything stable. So she relies on technology that way. As for me, I have always been surrounded by technology. My mother often shares this story with me about how she was pregnant with me, and they went to the hospital, and my dad was watching TV and holding her hand, you know, sitting there, because she was about to go into labor or whatever, and there was a baseball game on, and my mom always says, if osmosis were a thing, this would explain why I love baseball so much and why I love watching TV. So, as I love technology, and I think it's just the greatest thing, honestly, I kind of feel like we should be a little further along. I mean, I was kind of hoping 2014 we could be teleporting, so I could be like here 1 second, and then in Germany the next second, which, I mean, I would be alright with that, but we're not quite there yet. Now, in conclusion, I can say that after talking to my grandmother and my mother, I can say that technology is without a doubt an improvement on our lives, and in moderation is a great thing. And maybe one day I can take you all on a field trip to Germany, because we can teleport. Okay.